Welcome back to my channel, Pretty Inspired Decor. My name is Shelley, and today I hope to inspire you to create something pretty for spring, for Easter, that can even take you into the summer and potentially even into the fall, depending on how you decorate for fall. Every year, I decide that I'm going to do something for the spring, for Easter, that isn't totally Easter, and others I just want to have a touch of spring and a touch of prettiness. And so this year I thought, what could I do to put on my railings overlooking the Juliet balcony, overlooking my living room? What could I do to change it up? In the past, I've used pinwheels and I've written out Happy Easter and I've done all sorts of fun things, welcome spring. But this year I thought I'm going to do something entirely different, and I decided that I would make hoop rings. So these hoop rings I'm so happy with, I decided to take that one step further and actually to make 4 of them and spell the word home with them. That way I can leave them up, I think, all summer long. So it'll really, for me, certainly hit 2 seasons for sure. Now we're in the midst of home renovating. We're redoing our powder room, so we have a bit of a mess going. It's going to take me a little while to really get into my Easter decorating and my spring decorating, because I don't want drywall dust all over everything that I've just decorated. But I can show you this, because this is something I can easily just put them in plastic and not worry about them. So let's take a peek. So you'll see I have the first 3 done. I found those letters a long time ago. I can't even remember where I found them. They are made out of wood. And I remember finding them in a clearance section and thinking, and of course you couldn't get every letter from A to Z. So I decided that I would try to spell something. Initially I was going to spell hello, but then I thought, what, home is probably a nicer thing to spell, and I can probably do something more with home than I would with hello. So that's the first 3 hoop wreaths, and now I'll show you how I create them. So to make a hoop wreath, the first thing you need is a hoop, and I bought this hoop at Michael's and spray painted it a rose gold flat. I didn't want it to be a shiny, believe it or not, often I do, but I decided this one I would make a rose gold flat, and it is a 19-inch wreath. You will also need some florals, and for this project, just so that it works so nicely with my fireplace, this is a eucalyptus stem, so you'll need at least one of these. I used just one of them. I don't think that's all you really need. You will also need some flowers, and I love these pink flowers, so these are pretty. These are much less expensive than the ones on the fireplace, so that's why I decided I would go with these. I think I got these 2 stems, 2 pieces for $14 here in Canada. And then I have little pieces. You can see I had another stem, and I used some of these as well, just to bring a little bit more color. And as you can see, some of them have already been used. What I do with these stems before I cut them is I pull all of the greenery up so that there's lots of greenery inside of my wreath. As you know, when you get these flowers from Michael's, the greenery tends to be pulled down so that it looks more full if you're going to use it as a whole bunch in a bouquet. And I also have this stem, and you'll notice I've just taken a few pieces off for the actual wreaths that are up there already, that are completed. And then in the fall last year, I bought these beautiful flowers, and I decided that I would have some be a softer pink and some be this rosier pink, because I have a soft pink in the H and the M and a gold in the O and the E. You'll also need some ribbon to tie your wreath whether it's to a door. I mean, you could just put this on a wreath hanger as well, but you'll notice I've decided to hang mine. So I just have some pretty pink ribbon. And of course, if you're going to use a letter or, you know, anything, a picture, anything you're going to put on your wreath, you'd have that ready as well. So the first thing I do before I actually start gluing, because you do have to have a glue gun to glue this down, I don't use glue to really glue down any of my flowers. I try not to anyway. I will instead use these zip ties. You know, I got this idea of using zip ties from Arlene's Country Crafts. I mean, she's just fabulous. I can't say enough about her. They just work so much better. You don't have to worry about, you know, somehow the glue, if it's on a hot day, the glue coming undone. These things just work beautifully. So I will be using a whole host of these, you'll see. So let me begin by, with my wire cutters, just cutting off the stems of the eucalyptus. So I will lay this out. I like to take, because if you remember the other wreaths that are already up there, I want to take the longer piece and put it here, and my shorter pieces and put one in here and one on this side. I'm going to cut the other florals and lay them out and show you why I create my pattern. And I'll get this E glued on right away. So if you're going to put a letter or a picture or something on your hoop, what I do is I marked off exactly where I want it to be. I marked the edges of, you know, the wooden letter. And now I'm just going to douse this with glue. Very, very, you know, I want it to stick, so I put lots and lots of glue on it, so that I don't have to worry that it'll fall off at any point. Let me give that about 2 or 3 minutes to cool down and make sure it's stuck well, and then I'll be back and we'll start to put the flowers on. Okay, the E is glued on nicely, nice and firm, not going anywhere. And I have placed my eucalyptus leaves the way I want them. Happy with that. And now I'm going to take these flowers, I'm going to call them dahlias because that's what I think they are, and I'll put those in, I think like this, sort of have them face down a little bit. What I do is I place my flowers and then I begin to do the zip tying, which, you know, sometimes that means I have to move things, but I kind of want to have a feel of where things are going to go. So I will take one of these roses and pop it under here, and that means I'll be able to use one zip tie to get at least 2 of those flowers in. Then I will take another one and put it into here, like that. Then what I really loved about that larger bouquet of flowers is it has things like this, so different things. It's not just all, you know, straight roses. You can take one of those and pop it in here, followed by, you know, one of these rosier ones with the leaves, and that looks pretty. Pop that in there. I love these little berries. Again, they're just styrofoam that they paint, but I just think they're pretty. We'll pop that in there. Pop another one of those over here. See how I'm building it? And then of course another rose in here. And some other roses on this side. Again, for a little more variety, there's a little bit of this almost baby breath looking stuff. It's pretty as well. You can pop that in here. You're just building up the flowers so that it looks pretty. I'm going to make another one of these wreaths for a good friend of mine. She wants hers done in blues and yellows, really soft yellows. And I'm going to be putting a funky bow on that, so I'll make sure that I do that one on video as well, because it'll look much, much different from this. So let's get started with the zip ties, and then I'll decide if I want to add or how much more I want to add to these flowers. So let's just kind of leave it at that for now. Just drop something and begin the zip ties. So the zip ties, I will start with this piece in here, and I'm going to try to get more than one flower in. So you'll notice if you come in here, you can see I've got the dahlia, I've got the rose, and another dahlia. Get that in there too. And just do those zip ties tightly. That's why this is so much easier than glue. I just can't tell you how much easier this is than glue. Pop them in there nicely, zip tie tight, and then all you have to do is cut your ends of your zip ties. So let me work on this. You don't need to watch me do all the zip ties, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I'm almost done the zip ties, but I thought I would show you the last few flowers that I put on. So what I like to do is I like to actually bunch, even if they didn't come together naturally in the bunch, as if faux can be natural, I like to bunch them together and then put them with my greenery. And then if you've got them all together, you can get away with one zip tie, because I don't want to have the whole thing full of zip ties. You go to the flat part of the zip tie, that's what the loop goes through, and then you just go and pull and pull and pull so it's nice and tight. When you've got these faux flowers, you can move them about, which is lovely. You take this one now, this piece, pop that in here. And this one in here. And grab another zip tie. I'm even going to put one of these pieces in. Let's really fill that up and make it look pretty. And pop that in. And pull. So easy. Again, so easy. It's just ridiculous how easy it is. I mean, these hoop wreaths, I've seen them on Etsy. They're so expensive, and they're not expensive to make. I mean, if you use your coupons from Michael's, or if you live in the States, Hobby Lobby or Joann's or whatever, you know, wherever you buy your florals, they're actually not that expensive to make at all. I'm just going to add a couple more flowers in here because I just think it needs something else. And you know what? I think it's actually going to be another one of the dahlias I'm going to add in here. The other ones all have 3, so this one should have 3 as well. So easy. So far, I have 10 zip ties. I may end up having to use a few more. I don't know, but you know, we'll see when I pick it up. So picking it up, of course, tells you if you've got everything zip tied on strong enough. But look at the back of it. That's your zip ties. It actually looks quite neat, except for the glue, of course, the globs of glue. But again, that holds it on, and there you go. If you turn it around, here is my, I think, finished hoop wreath. So let me just hang it on my door just to make sure that I'm happy with it. I'll be right back, and then if I'm happy with it, you can watch me hang it on my railing. So what I did is I just hung it on the door going down to my family room, and I did add 3 more tufts of flowers, one here, one in here, and another one in here. and now I think it's ready to go. I don't want these wreaths to be perfectly matchy-matchy. I want them to each be distinct and, to work together, but I'm not looking for, the exact flower in the exact same spot on all 4 of the wreaths, because then there's no visual interest to them. So I'm ready to go hang it. Well, I haven't been down to see what it looks like from down there, but my husband assures me it looks good, and I take his word for it. I'm really happy with how these hoop wreaths turned out, and I know I'll keep them up probably all summer long. They work for spring and obviously for Easter and then for summer. So they turned out just as I hoped that they would. So until we see each other next time, where I'll really be into my Easter decorating, I think, although I think I'm going to do a photo backdrop first, and then I'll get into my Easter decorating. So until next time, I hope you give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I hope you like and share it with friends who like to decorate as much as we do.